Hello and welcome to the 126th episode of Redeeming the Time. I'm your host, Jake Wells. This is my dad, my co-host, Keith Wells, and we have a special guest, Josiah Hassinger. How's it going, man?
It's going well.
I didn't know you were going to be on this until 5 minutes ago, so...
You're the only two-time intern in the history
of FBC.
of Friendship Baptist Church. That's right.
Two-time?
Yep, that's right. So... we're getting started
You don't have a drink today.
I don't have a drink on purpose today because in 3 hours, I'm a Star Wars nerd, and we're going to see The Mandalorian and Grogu. And
So you don't
I
have
have old man bladder, so I stopped drinking anything at 1:30 today.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. I didn't know it was that. I just thought you just stopped.
Years ago, I drank a massive, the biggest one they'll give you at the movie theater for The Lord of the Rings. And I nearly had to go to the hospital afterwards because I refused to get up. I was going to watch the end of it.
Yeah.
That was, 20 years ago?
Lord of the Rings, yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, no, I'm not doing it. Got to get through. It's the first Star Wars movie in 7 years, and I am that big of a nerd.
So that brings us to our topic. What is the best? What? Okay, there's a difference here. What is the best, and what is your favorite Star Wars movie?
Best and favorite, huh?
What is your favorite?
It's in airplane mode here.
What is your favorite Star Wars movie, Josiah?
You're of a generation that might not have ever seen a Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
A lot of your generation hasn't. So, all right, let's get this close to you.
Yeah, I've seen all of the Star Wars movies, at least like the original ones. But
What's that mean to you?
like like 1 through
9?
9. Yeah, there's 9.
Okay.
So 1 through 9.
That's
yeah.
good.
Yeah, but that's about the extent of it.
That's
so.
fine. Yeah,
You seen Rogue One?
Yeah, I've seen Rogue One.
Solo?
Parts of it.
You're not missing anything there.
All right. So what? So
You don't
okay.
have to
So,
keep moving.
huh?
You don't have to keep moving.
I don't have to keep doing that. All right, good. So this is a really sensitive mic, so we didn't know if it was going to pick both of them up. So they're giving this one a 5 out of 10.
Who?
IGN, other people like that.
What is IMDb saying? I trust IMDb.
Rotten Tomatoes, it's about the same thing.
I don't care about Rotten Tomatoes.
So they said the only two ranked less than this at the very beginning before being seen were Phantom Menace and The Rise of Skywalker.
Which one?
Skywalker. You got to say that right. Well, Phantom Menace, though, wound up being incredible.
IMDb gave it a 7.
All right.
So
with that in mind, what's your favorite?
I don't know where you're going with
I
it.
don't either.
What is your favorite Star Wars movie, Josiah?
I don't know if I have a favorite. I mean, like I like the original ones, like the oldest ones.
4, 5, and 6.
4, 5, and 6.
Yeah, they're just all the iconic lines.
Okay, all right.
So
I've got a bad feeling about this.
I have the high ground. I like that one.
No, that's
Yeah.
episode 3. That's
Yeah.
that's the prequels. Yeah, but go
Yeah.
ahead.
What's your favorite, Dad? 9.
Well, let's go back to that. So they said Phantom Menace.
What is your favorite movie?
So they go.
Before that, what is your favorite?
No. So they go back to Phantom Menace was ranked less than what this one is now, and I'm like, how could that be ranked horrible? It introduced Darth Maul, one of the coolest characters ever, which they're still using.
But that's the thing. He's in the movie for like 10 minutes.
A double lightsaber.
Yeah,
which had
but
never
you
been
only
seen
see it
before.
for 10 minutes.
Pod racing scene, and the second best of all of the soundtracks.
What's the first one? What's the best?
The original. Yeah, just the
the song.
Yeah,
Duel of the Fates.
Yeah,
I know the name of it, so you know that it's
right.
you know it's good.
So I mean, to rank that one bad is come on, you're losing. You just don't like science
But
fiction
you're
at that point.
your generation is the
they're
people
the
that's
reason. Yeah,
saying that it's terrible because they grew up with in the 70s, 80s watching the original.
I grew up watching. You were a little kid when we watched 1 through 3. I was a little kid when 4 through 6 came out, and then we've both been adults since 7 through 9, and 7 was pretty good. 8.
I like Kylo Ren.
8 had.
And I don't mind Rey.
8 had some great scenes in it. 9 was terrible.
Yeah.
9 was just So
I think my favorite movie is Rogue One.
Oh, I can't actually agree with that. It's good.
It's
It's
very
up there.
good. It is very good. Favorite might be 3, but the best, like
3. Wow,
the
that's rough.
the most well made is Rogue One, in my opinion.
Okay.
And then Andor, the show on top of it, makes you want to
Oh yeah.
crawl up in a ball and cry for hours. They did so well.
I haven't seen any of the shows.
It's
They're
good.
It's dark.
Andor
actually,
is good.
I thought, but
It's still good.
yeah, like the end of season 1 or season 2,
I don't know.
where he gets captured, and he's basically a slave making parts for
That's the movie.
Huh?
No, that is one. That's the
making
first
parts
season,
for the Death Star. I mean, that's how it ends.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
pretty intense.
It was pretty rough. I'm not ruining anything for you. But
It's
okay,
alright.
people
I
are
probably
not
won't watch it.
listening at this point. So, what's your favorite?
You never even said your favorite yet. you're,
I don't.
you're talking about Phantom Menace, and what is your favorite? I used to say 5. I used to say Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, that's everybody's favorite. I do like Empire Strikes Back. It would. Episode 1 might be my favorite now. It was Empire Strikes Back, but now Phantom Menace might be my favorite. I would say if it's on, I'm gonna watch it. I mean, it's like
Well, you're any of the Star Wars, you're gonna watch
no,
it.
that's not true. Yeah,
1 through 6, you're not
if
stopping and
6
watching it.
if 6 is on, I'm not gonna stop and watch it. Return of the Jedi. Yeah, I might watch the opening scene. I could care less about those little what are they?
Ewoks?
Oh,
Oh.
come on, that stuff.
The coolest part for me, not the coolest part, but the scene Darth Vader that leads right in Rogue One, that leads right into A New Hope.
Oh yeah, the last 2
That-
minutes of the movie.
That
Yeah.
scene is so
Yeah.
sick.
So let's get into our subject today. Is that good?
Yep.
All right. I'm not gonna make you talk about NBA, which, by the way, I think San Antonio is going to make it through now.
Tied 1-1 now.
Yep.
So
By this game, it'll be by this time this comes out.
might be 2-1.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So today we're going to talk about something that actually I think was it the Williams that brought this to our attention.
Yeah.
We
Danielle.
were talking about different subjects, and one of them is loneliness, and I mean it literally is an epidemic. The Surgeon General back what year was that? I got it on my notes here. Surgeon General in 2023 called it a public health epidemic, not a personal problem, not a character flaw, because it's not those. It's an epidemic, they said, hitting our younger generation hardest of all. You're of the younger generation. So do you see this in the folks around you, where loneliness seems to be prevalent in their lives?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's super prevalent. See it in people. Doesn't matter whether it's a church setting or whether it's, secular setting. I feel like there's people everywhere struggling with it.
Now I'm putting you on the spot. I didn't ask you this ahead of time. I mean, do you have any reasons why you feel that for your generation that it's popped up more than other generations?
Yeah, I mean, personally, I think just social media and just the amount of time that people spend on the internet, and maybe it's because people have kind of realized that this is something they can turn to, something that they can go to as a source of satisfaction, even a relationship, and they're realizing that it doesn't replace genuine relationship. So,
All right. Well, as we looked into this, we decided to talk about this more. we've said this multiple times. The most connected generation, as far as technologically. I mean, you can speak to any friend, even people that aren't friends around the world, FaceTime them all the time. So you're the most connected, but yet loneliness is an epidemic because truthfully we're not
truly connected.
Truly connected in that way. So I guess that's what we want to look at. I want to look at why the lies behind loneliness, why it feels normal for it to be that way, almost desirable for some people, and then see what the Bible has to say about it and what's the path forward. So you good with that?
Yep.
All right. Let me give you some statistics here that I found. 58% of adults reported being lonely. That's up from when I was a kid, 1980, 11%. So that's nuts. 11% to 58%. All right. Gen Z, that's people his age, and not you anymore.
I'm like right on the edge.
You are. This says 18 to 27. 79% report feeling significant feelings of loneliness, highest of any other generation. Chronic loneliness listen to this. Chronic loneliness reduces life expectancy by up to 15 years. Wow. It's comparable to smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Jeez. Research from BYU. What? That's nuts.
Unbelievable.
54% of Gen Z say no one knows them well. Not a single person.
What is the percentage?
54%. That's
yeah.
So, I think it comes down to several lies. This didn't happen by accident. This is a culmination of things from, well, I think it's the empowerment type thing that's been pushed out there, social media. I think a lot of different things. So we'll go through a bunch of different lies. Did you have anything you wanted to add to that before I get going?
Yeah. So this ends up affecting a few different areas that which is why we want to talk about this.
Yeah.
The loneliness going into relationships, the loneliness and the mindset with that affects friendships, and then relationships with boyfriend, girlfriend, how you view those things, how you view your future with those things. That's what has been greatly affected. I know some of the stats that we're going to go into, but the age for first-time mothers, planned motherhood, has like skyrocketed to older by like 5 years or something like that since 2000. We have young people that are not even considering getting married and having kids. We have younger people that won't even commit to even a friendship a lot of the times, where everything is up in the air, and then if they really want to do it or they feel good, they'll go to the planned event.
Yeah, that's sort of two things in one there. I think that's a little bit loneliness and somewhat of a non-committal type thing as well, generation.
But a lot of times it stems from them not. It's so much easier to not do it.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's so much easier to stay at your house and either play video games or look at your phone rather than, okay, I told them that I'm going to go and we're going to go to dinner and then watch a movie on Friday. Yeah. That takes effort. That takes your time. So it feels like that has dwindled.
So you got a pretty good group of buddies. I mean, you guys consistently do things together. I'm not asking you to squeal on them. I don't mean it that way. But do you find that to where it's like, okay, I really don't know if this is going to happen?
Oh, like an event, like something that's been planned, or?
Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah. Like Friday night, you and your buddies we're going playing disc golf, and then on Friday, two of them are like, yeah, we're not coming.
Yeah.
Does that ever happen?
Oh, that's happened before, yeah.
Yeah. Drives me
Often?
nuts, man.
I think depending on who it is, but it happens more often.
That drives me nuts. See, now when I was younger, it was more like, did a friend get a better offer? You know what I mean by that? Like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it's like, well, they're more fun, so I'm gonna go do that with them. Now it's just like, no, I'm just staying home. I'm just gonna what's it called?
Doom scroll.
Doom scroll, yeah, for the whole night or whatever. So, see, I was trying to be hip there, and then I didn't want to say it and look like an idiot. So, oh, okay.
So the loneliness, the cure for loneliness is doing those things, but it's been the idea of how to fix it has been warped into just more loneliness. And you think you're connected because you're seeing 1,000 different people on your feed or whatever, or you're watching YouTube and you're watching people, but that's not
curated.
true.
Yeah, I mean that.
Yeah, it's not true connection, like we said.
Well, can I go into some of the lies that I put down here for?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think I think this has been purposely done to us, and we've allowed this to be done. The first lie is this: you are enough alone. You don't need anyone else. So this radical self-sufficiency. You don't need a partner. You don't need family. All those things. Independence is the highest form of personal achievement. And that sounds great. I mean, it sounds like you're brave and empowered, but it's a lie. Look at what God says. Genesis 2:18. And the Lord God said, "It is not good that man should be alone. I will make him a helpmeet for him." It is not good that man should be alone. All right? This is pre-fall. This is before sin entered the world, okay? That's pretty significant of the timing of that. So before sin entered the world, in the perfect sinless creation, God himself declares that being alone is not good. Solitude by design was not God's plan for us as human beings. So connection isn't weakness, it's the design, how we're wired by God. So I think that one significant overall. Doesn't mean everyone has to be married. We'll address that a little bit later. But we shouldn't be always alone. The second one is now I think this one is where being single is the superior life.
And that lie is said because if you're single, then you can decide what you want to do.
Yeah.
And you can decide who you want to do with it. But what that becomes is not... that doesn't become every day is filled with something. It ends up becoming every day is not filled with anything, and you're by yourself.
Well, that's a good way of saying it.
Lying at your house watching whatever you want to do.
Yeah, ultimate freedom becomes ultimate loneliness there.
Yeah.
You can travel. Okay, well, traveling alone is not really that fun. No mess. Studies showed 30% of adults under 30 say they have no interest in getting married.
What percentage?
30%. That's up from 9% in 2010.
Wow.
So that's not even that long ago. So 21% increase in that. But the majority of those same people report significant loneliness. So the preferred life being fulfilling, they don't line up. So this is a problem. And still, even farther, many of those who say they're fine being single aren't really fine. The preference is usually out of fear of vulnerability. We're going to talk about that a lot. Fear of rejection, fear of being hurt, and fear of the actual hard work to that real intimacy requires.
Yeah, they think it's easier to just not do that stuff than actually give it a shot.
Right. It's come to the point, as a young man, have you keep putting you on the spot. Have you had a situation where you have this fear of there's always the fear of the young lady's going to say no or something like that.
I had it when I asked Callie to marry me.
But I mean, do you see in your friends or just in general with young men that you're around of this whole
What are you laughing about?
I'm setting up his friends?
Yeah, you're really just throwing them.
We gotta
down
talk
here.
about singles night.
Yeah,
Of just
Oh
this
my
fear
goodness.
of even talking, like this toxic masculinity type thing. You're not really in that kind of circle of guys, but have you seen some of that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I think I get what you're saying. Like, it might be easier not to ask than to ask and get rejected.
Yeah.
It's just more of a, I guess, maybe a culture that we're used to or we're expecting. I don't know.
Yeah, that I'm sort of giving him softballs here. To
No,
set
but
up,
yeah, the whole
yeah.
idea of going up and talking to a girl is, I mean, it's scary. For you,
Yeah.
you were,
And you say girl, but it's not girl anymore. Now, I mean, at this age, it's a woman, which is even.
oh, like 30.
Well, no, just even in their 20s. I mean, it's not like you're asking some teenage girl out.
Oh, yeah.
You know, when it was a teenager, it was different, and now you're like, she has a career, I have a career. You know, that's a little bit more
it seemed-
intimidating.
yeah.
There is a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. So I use this one. You know, we look on Instagram and everything looks great, but it produces isolation, it produces emptiness, all this regret, and Solomon's telling us here, you know, this may seem right, this whole singleness is superior. It is not, which goes right into the third lie. Feel free to interrupt anytime. All right. Digital connection is real connection. We've probably nailed this one a million times, but the direct
And
consequence.
I want to I want to clarify something when you say the singleness thing. It's the holding on to yourself and yourself only.
Correct.
It's not like because you're single, you're living a worse.
No. Yeah, correct. Thank you for clarifying.
You're
I don't mean that
saying,
at all.
Okay, it's me, nobody else, and having that mindset rather. It's not singleness as we're talking of just relationship.
Yeah,
here.
it's intentionally choosing. I don't want to ever put myself out there. I don't want to ever consider this. This is superior to.
with the motive of you doing it for yourself.
Yeah, and we're not even just talking marriage here. We're going to talk about being isolated as far as church family and your family, that kind of thing as well.
You're isolating yourself on purpose.
Yes.
That's the singleness that you were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So lie number 3, digital connection is real connection. The average person has 1,000+ social media friends of a younger generation. That seems like a lot to me, but that's the average. But, you know, the average American says in this study showed that they felt that they had fewer than 3 people they could call in a crisis in their life. So followers are not friends. Likes are not love, and engagement is not intimacy. And we just talked last week about pornography, and one of the things we talked about was the dopamine hit that comes from that. It's the same thing. I mean, the dopamine hit is, from getting likes or getting retweets or whatever nobody gets on X anymore. But X is like
I haven't posted anything in 4 years, so.
X is like a sewer. I mean, it's people that just want to hate on other people. But so young men are spending 6 to 8 hours a day on screens.
Not at work. Like not including
I
work.
assume that's what that study meant. Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. So it also said young women are collecting followers, longing to truly be known. So what happens here is...
So that following thing is the comment on I've got Siri going here. Whoops. So you post a picture and you have all the girlfriends saying, "Oh, you look so pretty. Oh, ding, ding, ding." You got 15 comments and every single picture is the same 15 people saying the exact same thing in a different way. that is not what a friend is. And I've talked to our teenagers about this, and is that what you're actually wanting there?
Yeah.
Like, is that real friendship? If I say you post a picture, or Josiah, you post a picture and you're flexing and you look good, and I'm like, oh, you look so good, and then next week you do the same thing, oh, you look so good, and I just keep doing that, but we never talk and we never actually hang out or do anything besides that. Are we friends?
No.
Do you trust me? That's not real.
Acquaintance at best, yeah.
That's not real. And that's what we're relying on with this following.
Yeah, we lose relational muscles. I mean, I don't know how many awkward conversations I have now. Now, I'm glad they're having them with me because they're at least flexing those relational muscles, but they don't have them. I mean, it's just
with teenagers.
It's just
People.
Yeah, people in general. But you can tell there's no real world vulnerability, intimacy type situation there because they're not flexing those muscles to have just a normal conversation.
You know, I see that in my own life.
Yeah.
Like, so you, in your generation, you guys will just start talking to each other. And, like, you'll probably start talking to somebody, another Star Wars nerd tonight. That's your age.
Without a doubt.
And you'll the conversation will go deeper than just, hey, how's it going? Oh, you're excited. Like, we might do that and like, oh yeah, we're excited, but we're never going the next layer. You guys
never get past what's the weather and the score of the Reds game, right?
So those muscles that you're talking about, like, I've seen that play out. I'm never gonna do that. I'm not going. That's not me.
Well, that's part of your personality.
It's part of my
general,
personality, but like other people, that's just not. That's not the culture that we grew up in. Like, we're not gonna randomly talk to some guy at the movie theater or a restaurant. Like, for me, look, sitting at a table and eating and having another table, if they can even hear what we're talking about, that makes me uncomfortable. I'm never going to talk to that. I'm never going to talk to that. But I have seen you and Mom and Uncle Ron and all these your age. They're part of your you've joined dinners. Like, that is foreign to me. Do you feel that way?
I don't know.
Not at school. Like, here.
Yeah, it might be different at school. I mean,
well, you're forced to do that at Chick-fil-A, right?
Yeah, because I think what I was gonna say is I think those kind of things, like, it's a learned skill, and I think
exactly
a lot of people in our generation, maybe they're bought into the lie that it's not a skill, it's more of a part of who they are, and so they're saying, "Oh, I'm an introvert. Like, I don't talk to people. I just stay home. That's who I am." And I mean, you have that. You can have different personalities where you are energized by people or you're energized by time alone, but a lot of the most like good conversational people I've known are actually introverts who just taught themselves how to socialize with people.
Ask questions.
Ask questions about people too.
That's well put.
Yeah, so the relational muscles, exactly right. And the two big things are, will you have some vulnerability to actually reveal something, anything. I like this team, even something. Woo. And the other one is courage. And I'm not belittling, but there is a courage that if you're going to go talk to somebody and showing up when I've got down here, showing up when it's hard sometimes as well.
There's also vulnerability of the sacrifice of time that it might take, because that's the one for me. If I start a conversation with you, it might be 10 minutes.
That's a revealing statement.
Do I want to spend 10 minutes? Like, that's a calculation I'm doing in my head.
How do I get out of this conversation?
Do I start it? Because I know if I start it...
Well, I have that every day.
Everyone does it. I'm not the only person.
Yeah. No, you're definitely not the only person.
That's another aspect. It's a lot easier to not start the conversation than, you know what, the dogs are barking.
Yeah. A man that hath friends must show himself friendly. Yeah.
Hopefully I'm not sounding not friendly.
There's a friend that sticketh closer than a brother. So friendship requires showing yourself to them.
Yes.
All right, moving on. Lie number 4. Now, this is going to take me down a path, and this you've already mentioned this. Waiting is always wise.
And that's the lie.
The lie, the delayed life plan. Where it used to be a commitment was made in your early 20s, some even earlier than that, but the early 20s, it's now it's your 20s, even your 30s. It's this prolonged adolescence focused on career and travel and personal development and independence, which led to what you were saying. I've got the stats here. So in 2000...
It's one of the metrics that can show you that.
Yeah. And this isn't about just the ladies. This is about them as a couple having the child. So in 2000, so this isn't even that long ago. For you it is.
When were you born?
2006.
Wow.
So the average age for first planned motherhood was 24.9 years. And even that's up from, a long time. Today, it's 28.4.
Yeah, and some...
Yeah.
Yes.
So close to 4 years difference over a decade. That's not a couple people. That's demographics. Millions of women have delayed, and couples have delayed their family formation, with the promise that the best life was an independent life. Push it off as far as you can, because once you have that, you're strapped down, and life is different. There's a lot of problems that come with that.
What if it doesn't work out with that person? You're 28 years old, you start dating because you're like, okay, now I'm going to start dating, or really take it serious.
Mm-hmm.
Feel lonely. Now I don't feel lonely, whatever. And you get into a relationship, and then you go 2 years, relationship doesn't work out. Now you're 30. And now...
Yeah, the optimal fertility window drastically falls at 35. I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm just giving science here, all right? And what has happened is that creates grief, a lot more medical intervention, and a lot of regret that comes with that as well. So that's not a condemnation of women that are single or childless. I mean, there's a lot of genuine grief that comes with that. I definitely know that, ministering to folks. But we still have to be honest about this lie. It has consequences. And if we're intentionally doing this, we need to realize what the ramifications of that.
So why is waiting... Why has that become a lie? I guess I'm asking. So, like, for me, I'm trying to understand this lie, because it was not for me. Like, that was not... I don't understand that. Like, I didn't want to wait. Like, I wanted to wait to a certain extent, but I was 24 when I got married. 24, 25.
Mm-hmm.
One of those years. Why do we think that has... Why are people waiting till they're 30 or 32 to get married and then start?
Well, I think there's several things. More, we have, the predominant... There are more women in college than there are men now. All right. So I think that has a factor with it, because they want to finish their degree, that type of thing. They want to start their career.
And I'm not just talking about the motherhood thing, but like just even thinking about.
Right. What I'm saying. So
Yeah.
you've put everything. So
You can't do this until I finish
right. There's
this.
this hierarchy of, okay, I've got to finish school. Both the husband and the wife were, they're not even considering marriage until then. So, I mean, you're constantly pushing it and to the next stage. So that has to have a lot to do with it. And then the whole, I want to travel, I want to do this, I want to do that. So that has a lot to do with it. This isn't about when we have kids. That's not our article or discussion today. But loneliness, if you're not even considering any of those things, like you said, if anything goes awry with the plan, then,
Yeah. I mean, when you're in explaining it further there. You do this without date, like you do college, you do whatever.
That's my personal opinion. That's all anecdotal on my part.
Those plans,
that I've seen.
and then you start. Why aren't they even looking at partners like boyfriend, girlfriend during that? Because what happened with us is I started dating my last year of college, and like then 2 years later we're getting married.
Sure.
And like I'm trying to figure out what I was doing during that time. And so
You were playing.
it was a lot easier if I didn't have a girlfriend during that time, and I had more time to devote to
Playing.
figuring out what I was trying to do,
Okay.
because that's what was going on, and I was playing during it. But
Yeah.
like that's the mindset of I don't want to. I'm going to focus all of my attention. This is the lie that's going on.
Yeah.
Going to focus all my attention on this and not divide it with a girlfriend or a boyfriend. And then once I'm done with this, then I'll have time to then focus on a boyfriend or a girlfriend.
All right. So did you not feel any loneliness during that time?
Well, that's where the lie comes in.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Do you see what I'm saying?
I do.
Why can't you have both? Why aren't we? That's the application of that lie.
Yeah, I can't even honestly relate as well, because I mean, I started dating Leanne my senior year of high school, and we dated all through college, and I mean, we pretty much knew by sophomore year of college.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of me getting our degree.
And that doesn't mean that you have to do it that way. Like, you don't have to be searching during that time, but that you got to be being cognizant of that.
I think we got off subject
important.
a little bit, but yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, I think just kind of like what you've been talking about, kind of just some of the lies that people have bought into, the negativity and this lie that relationships aren't beneficial. Like, they're going to wait to get into this because of all the bad things that come with it. And then once they're strapped down, that's when everything stops. So I guess maybe it feels like they have to get all these things done before that happens. Not sure.
Yeah. Have you... I'm not calling anybody out here, but the amount of times that someone came up to me or came up to Callie and said, "Oh, now you're married, there goes all the fun," or "Now that you have a kid, there goes all your time." Like, say those things. Why would anyone want if that's what
You actually think in life? Yeah.
that's what is being portrayed of what that is, then why would you want that? Why would you're pushing it off? Like, that's the reason why people might push it off.
Yeah, I don't think Christians are immune to this as well. I've got some things here, there's sort of a collision between two different visions of what we're seeing in the world. So you go to school or somewhere like that, and there's this, the trad wife. Have you heard that term? The traditional wife. It's almost become like a cuss word. Yeah. I mean, that there's this pushback. I mean, to the point it's a slang. I mean, that you would do that, and it's this version of femininity that it feels suffocating, like she's measured by her domestic. I've got down here her domestic output or her submission, without considering the love that she needs and those types of things.
Yeah, there's a meme or like a picture that said a mom holding her baby and with a kid on her leg and getting kissed by her husband. It said, "When did this become a sin?" Or like, not a sin, but like, when did this become bad? Like,
well, the pendulum then goes the other way, and it's rejected biblical womanhood altogether. So they think it's people abusing that situation or going the other way. And when Paul's talking to Titus, he says that they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children, to be discreet, chaste, keepers at home, obedient to their own husbands, that the word of God be not blasphemed. That's not meant to be a cage for a young lady. we're not imprisoned. All of that is for them to flourish in their life. Their household and their children and their husband would flourish. And biblically speaking, that's one of the greatest callings on the face of the planet. Doesn't mean they don't work. That doesn't any of those types of things. We can't, though, simultaneously have this I'm the strong, independent woman who answers to no one, and I want a biblical, God-honoring marriage. Those are in contradiction. And if you're trying to be both, it's exhausting. Those worldviews aren't compatible. God has given us a worldview for a young lady that shows that she can be the virtuous woman of Proverbs 31. And I mean, that lady is productive, and she's linked with her family, yet she's still doing the things that would make her feel accomplished in life. So that's completely different than what we're seeing being portrayed out in the world today. And then the problem is the effect on young men.
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask.
Yeah.
So with the push of women being the strong, independent lady, don't need no man, that whole thing.
Yeah.
What has that caused young men? How has that caused young men to respond or whatever?
I think they've cowered. Constantly being told they're toxic, and the very characteristics that make us men are wrong. It's diminished male leadership.
And being told that has made the overall manhood of our country weak.
Right. Which weakens our country, which weakens our families. Lost confidence in just even basic social skills of how do I pursue a young lady? Will I even go talk to her? Am I going to get in trouble for pursuing this young lady? Are they going to call me a creeper because I talked to her more than one time? I won't I work with her, so I will never talk to her, that type of thing. And, every initiative is considered toxic, and our leadership is the patriarchy. Your confidence, you're so confident, you're so arrogant. Now, come on. This is how God's created us, all right? So what happens? A lot of young men have just said, I'm done, and they've stopped crying.
Yes.
That's crying. They've stopped trying, and they are crying. And I can go down a big hole there I think femininity had come from, effeminate more from young men. It's just a cycle that goes on from that. Studies show that romantic conversations, men now initiate romantic conversations 40% lower rates than they did 20 years ago.
Which then leaves ladies that are not buying into the drink. They're not drinking the Kool-Aid of the world, and they're not getting asked, and then they're frustrated with why is no boy asking? Well,
that same study showed that young men spend significantly more time in online fantasy worlds, gaming, social media, and pornography than real-world social investments, because the desire is there, they just don't know where to go. So, they don't know how to lead. They don't know how to pursue, and they don't know how to commit. So a church young men's group report that the number one expressed fear is not career failure, financial insecurity, or even loss of faith. It's rejection by women.
Say that again.
Number one expressed fear is not career failure, financial insecurity, or even loss of faith. It's rejection by women. But the Bible tells us...
Say that again?
No. Watch ye, stand fast in the faith, quit you like men, be strong. Quit you like men does not mean actual quit. It means be strong, be courageous, act like men. There's nothing wrong with that. We're not toxic. We're not domineering. You say, well, you sound like it right now. Somebody might be thinking, no. a real man that uses the courage and uses the skill. They're someone that's brave. They're not self-centered. They're servant-hearted, and they're doing something for the young lady in their life or their family that no one else can do. And that's what Christ tells us to be. That we are a picture of what Christ is to the church. I mean, that illustration completely breaks down with what we're doing in society here. So, which went into the next thing I had written down where you just said, women are longing for it, but they can't find it.
Yeah.
So it's almost a painful irony that's come about here. We've produced exactly what it claimed to oppose, and they want it.
It's a vicious cycle.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And
and when neither the guy that's pursuing it because of whatever reason, and then the girls that want to pursue it and aren't finding it, that leads to the loneliness.
Yeah, they're longing for face-to-face connection, genuine pursuit by a young man, a man who will lead, and they don't have it. So
it's hard to find it.
Yeah, it's hard to find it. Dating apps are an okay thing. Okay, maybe. I mean, I think there are a lot of dangerous ones out there, but even that has removed the
awkwardness,
pursuit, and
I guess not the awkwardness,
organic actual speaking, right? So the result is women want more, men are offering less, and both are unhappy. Mutual loneliness that comes with that. Biblical womanhood is not weakness, and biblical manhood is not dominance. And that has to come about. All right. So this isn't just about dating. This is about loneliness. But
yeah. But in for me, the most intimate relationship that I've ever had in every aspect is with Callie.
Sure.
And I cannot get that anywhere else.
Correct.
And so that comes with loneliness. That has to be part of the conversation.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you cleave. I mean, you become one. And
yeah.
So I mean.
All right. So what about someone that is single and has either chosen to be single or for different reasons are single and have chosen and are pursuing that life that we've been talking about the past few weeks? Where do they find
right
this?
So the primary one that God's designed is marriage. All right, that's human companionship. That's what it tells us to cleave unto our wife. I mean, that's within the Trinity. The very first things we see in the Trinity is make man in our image. All right, so the Trinity, within the Trinity, there is this existence of community, and we're made in that image. So we desire community. All right, and the ultimate of that is marriage. But the second to that is the body of Christ. Not everyone's going to be married. Some are going to be, as Paul says, if you can control yourself. Actually, he says if you can't control yourself, marry. But if you're a person that can do this, be single, and you're going to be able to be unbelievably productive for the Lord, and that type of thing. But the body of Christ, so we, being many, are one body in Christ. Everyone members one of another. That is not talking about a number in your church membership roll. That is talking about your group of friends, your connection with your Sunday school teacher, your connection with us as your pastors and as a staff as we've served together. Those types of things, that answers human loneliness. God has created this covenant community of brothers and sisters who bear one another's burdens, weep with those who weep, rejoice with those who rejoice. That's why the whole not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together. We're exhorting one another. And it says there in Hebrews 10:25, this is important, not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together, as the manner of some is, but exhorting one another, and so much the more as ye see the day approaching. There's an urgency there. He knows, God knows that this is going to happen in this time, that the culture is going to grow darker. The culture is going to grow away from him, be more isolated and more digital and more fractured. So he says, as the day draws closer, you're going to need each other even more. And I mean, we know it, right?
Yeah.
That's the truth. We see that.
But instead of doing that, oftentimes we grow further apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let me give you some more statistics. You cool on statistics?
Sure.
All right. Don't let
Yeah, I do like stats.
All right. These were amazing. That's why I wanted to. So, loneliness isn't just, it's not just an emotion. It is an emotion, but it's more than that. It's actually physiological. Over the last 20 years, they've done a lot of studies. This guy named, can you pronounce that guy's name? Casiopo?
That's good enough. Yeah.
Sure enough. Neuroscience.
Yeah,
he did
that guy.
neuroscience on loneliness. The human brain responds to social isolation in the same manner similar to physical pain. The brain's threat detection system becomes hyperactive in lonely people, always scanning for danger, rejection, betrayal. Lonely people show elevated cortisol levels, the stress hormone, around the clock, even during sleeping. It disrupts sleep, reduced deep sleep, restorative sleep, accelerates cognitive decline, significant increase in the risk of dementia. The brain literally processes social pain using the same circuits as physical pain. So here's 4 things, and I'll be done with it. 5 things.
6 things.
Yeah. 29% higher risk of heart disease if you're dealing with loneliness all the time. 32% increased risk of stroke. We're not talking like the day you're lonely. We're talking a lifetime of loneliness. Yeah. This one's the one that got me. 64% increased risk of clinical depression, of dementia. 64% increased risk of dementia. 26% increased risk of early death. It carries the risks exceeding those of obesity, physical inactivity, and air pollution. It's the largest predictor of depression among people under 35, 3 times more likely to develop anxiety, primary risk for suicidal ideation, more vulnerable to addiction, and so on and so forth.
So the ones with the brain, I'm interested on how that comes about.
I didn't look into that.
I would guess, this is purely guessing, that your brain was made by God to be used, and there's parts of your brain for relationships, like
presence,
us talking,
touch,
is
voice,
that it
eye
fires.
contact.
So when those parts of the brain aren't fired, and then those neurons aren't fired, or whatever the word is, it will go dull, and it won't.
That would be my guess.
Yeah.
I mean, we have no idea, but that would be my guess as well.
Yeah, that would be.
So the antidote,
Yeah, how do we? Okay, all this
just
stuff.
to leave this would be like even more depressing.
Okay, I'm still lonely. I'm still lonely.
lonely.
So what do I do now?
Yeah.
If I'm struggling with that, which is a real thing, and there's people that
sure.
are going to be listening to this that are struggling.
Yeah, we're not
with it.
being jerks about this, but
What would you tell me to do?
First one would be vulnerability. I think that is a key. Are you willing to be vulnerable around somebody? And if you're not, because you fear rejection, I understand that, but it's not going to get better. You have to put yourself out there. Just showing up to church, saying hi to the people that are sitting next to you in the pew. Yep. Not going up into a spot in the church where you're all by yourself.
And realizing,
and people do that all the time.
And realizing if that person doesn't respond the way that you want them to respond, and being all, oh, let me come over my house. That's not.
Yeah.
That's not. That's not gonna happen.
Right.
So
No, I've literally watched people walk in, go to the farthest spot they can, and then just scroll on their phone until the church service starts. And I'm like,
and
what?
then say,
Why are we here? You know?
and then say, I have no friends.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that kind of thing.
So that sounded mean the way I said
I
that.
know,
But being vulnerable and going and actually talking to somebody.
Yeah, and
just saying hi. It doesn't have to be a full-on conversation.
It's not a performance. It's a hi. Do I actually care about what you have to say to me? That type of thing. Online you're saying it just perfect. And I'm not going to always say something perfect.
I forget words all the time, and I feel like an idiot.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
That really
you
doesn't
might forget
matter.
that person's name, the first couple times. It's all right. There's some humility there. And, we have mutual needs.
Those things are good.
Yeah. So, first, vulnerability. Name the lie that you're believing, too. And it might be something you need to repent of. I mean, it might be like, I've bought into this mentality, and I need to repent of this. This is not how God designed me. And, not everybody's going to do that. He tells us in Romans 12:2, be not conformed to this world. We preached on this 4 weeks ago. But be transformed by the renewing of your mind. That is both moral, but it is also intellectual.
So I was talking to Amy about this, and a lot of times when we say the renewing of the mind, so there's science behind that, where you can literally rewire your brain. And so if I started believing in one of those lies or whatever, that's rewiring my brain the more I go into that.
Sure.
But that rewiring can happen the other way as well. So the renewing is literally the rewiring from going away from what the world is saying and rewiring it to what Christ wants.
Not being pressed into the mold of the world, but conforming and allowing God to rewire your mind. By being in His Word and doing the things that being around His people, all those things.
Yeah.
So the second part of that is put this dumb thing down. Put it down and actually, go ahead, man. Show up, right? Yeah. I mean, what's your relationship with your friends? I mean, is it all? I know obviously there's a ton of it there. I mean, because you're putting jokes back and forth and talking, that kind of thing. But
when you hang out with your friends, are you guys on your phone?
I mean, not really. No. There's definitely.
Go ahead.
What were you saying?
No, go ahead and finish. I'm sorry.
I was just saying there's definitely a lot more to our relationship than on our phones. We really just use the group chat for planning when we're gonna hang out or something like that. So.
And then if someone is on their phone when you're hanging out, what is the?
It's kind of just like awkward. Like what?
What are you doing,
like,
dude? Yeah.
You good? Like you're not really being present. So.
Yeah.
Do they allow you to have them at school for any amount of?
At school,
like during the day, or?
Yeah. I mean, there's no rules about like how much time you're allowed to spend on your phone.
Oh, okay. That surprises me.
At night, like you're not supposed to have your phones after lights out or whatever, but you can definitely like there's I feel like most people at my school like are a lot better about screen time than I've seen like people other places. So.
Have there, do you know of any friends that use any type of software that would limit the amount of time, or is it just a self-control issue?
I think I know some people that use software like that, like limits how much time it reminds them. Yeah. Yeah.
So, my thing is put the phone down. If someone asks you to go get coffee or a Coke or do it. They ask you to go play disc golf, do it. I'm not just talking somebody you're wanting to date, just people in general.
Yeah.
It's going to feel uncomfortable.
Josiah.
That's okay.
You want to play disc golf?
Not during the workday. You guys can't play disc golf during the workday.
But I think with that, I think what's really important is not just saying don't be on your phone, but also realizing all these different things that we can add into our life that are better.
Oh, that's good.
Obviously more beneficial, like Scripture. Even the Bible talks about putting off things, but putting on the new man, putting on good things. And then Philippians talks about whatever is good, holy, pure. Think on these things, and renewing your mind. Obviously, I think the more that you start to renew your mind and start to fill your mind with these good things, you don't even have to think about putting the phone down or spending less time, because you just don't want to anymore.
Yeah, it's natural. Yeah.
Yeah, you're too busy doing other things that are more beneficial and healthy. So
it's good.
One thing with loneliness as well is, I've mentioned this already, is the vulnerability part. Be willing to be known by somebody. Let them know something about you. It's okay. And I'm not being a jerk. I'm really not. But
No, I've experienced that where, again, I'm being vulnerable here, I guess. I have withheld information to somebody before because I know it will be easier not having them knowing that part of me.
Oh, okay.
Because then I don't have to answer the next time I see them. And if they ask about it, if they don't know it, then they can't ask about it. And that's a lot easier than telling somebody and having that fear, really, of like, oh, he might ask, I don't want to talk about that, but I should probably talk about it, that type of thing.
Well, and you're going in the ministry, and this is a real part of ministry. A lot of pastors are extremely lonely. And if you read books from like the generation right before me, they'll all say like, don't have friendships within your membership and stuff like that. And I can remember reading a book like that, and I'm like, how in the world do you survive? You're going to shrivel up. And sure enough, I mean, that's what happens. You've got to be willing. And your fear is, they want to know something so they can have information. And there are some people that are that way. But you've got to have friendships. You've got to have people that you can be vulnerable with, trusted people. Else the loneliness will overtake you.
Yes.
Especially on the mission field.
Or you can't even speak the language yet, maybe.
Yeah, you've got to have that. For young men, I'd take, you got to recover your courage. Courage, it's not the absence of fear, it's obedience in the presence of that. And, the world needs you to show up. Young ladies, they need you to show up. This church has to have young men with courage showing up, all right? Justin will, when this comes out, Justin will have just preached Sunday night on Joshua chapter 1, where over and over Joshua was told, be strong and of a good courage. Moses tells him, God tells him, the people tell him. Mm-hmm. I mean, we need courage. All right, we've got to be that. And then for young ladies, I would say this, examine what you actually want. I don't say that as a jerk, but what script are you going to go by? Are you going to go by what the Word of God says, or are you going to go what the world is saying? And that's going to determine a lot in your life. So examine what you want. For the church, there's a lot of things. I mean, we have to be there. Yeah, we've got to be there. I've been trying to preach. I don't know if you guys have noticed it. I've intentionally tried to speak to singles in our church, and in my sermons. And every sermon relates to the church body, but we've had the largest growing percentage in church are people that are single. So that means I need to not just talk about it as the nuclear family. I need to speak to it as our whole church family, and I think that's part of it. So yeah, we got to, and then as ministries, we've got to realize this, destigmatize it, and create opportunities, which we're trying to do. I mean, the college group's going to be having a special service on Sunday nights through July and August. We're doing a bunch of stuff on Wednesdays, so yeah, all that kind of stuff. And then, we've got some things for singles that are older as well. We've started a class of that. We have, loneliness. We've not even addressed loneliness in the senior adult community.
That's a whole nother episode.
That's a whole nother episode, but it's real as well, and the answer of that is in the church as well. So being involved, and so. All right. Anything else?
I don't. Do you have anything you'd like to add?
It's messy. It's but it has to be face to face. It has to be living life together.
Messy is okay. Huh? That's part of life.
Messy's okay. It is. We don't like it because it makes us feel uncomfortable. But
be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Oh boy, God sees the loneliness. He's there with you through it, and He's not gonna leave you. All right. So courage, vulnerability. That's what I had underlined in my last statement.
Why is Peter Pan always flying?
Why?
Because he never lands.
Oh, that's terrible. That was terrible.
You like that one, Josiah?
That's all right.
It's terrible.
That's our dad joke of the week.
Yep.
All right. Well, by the time this comes out, I've already seen Mandalorian, and it's going to be a good
It's
week.
going to be your favorite.
Hey, thanks for joining us, man. Good to have you with us. All right. Well, you guys have a good week, and we will see you next time. Love you guys. Bye.